It's hard not to believe Kate considering what kind of person she is and what kind of person Nathan is. I've seen for myself exactly what that fucker is capable of. Of course, Kate said she should go to the police in principle. I felt like absolute shit, but I told Kate she shouldn't go to anybody until she has more proof she was drugged. That video doesn't help her case at all, and it could be all backfired big time. She's going up against the whole Prescott empire, not just one rich white boy on dope. That's kind of a way to put it, Max. She wasn't too thrilled by my answer, but I don't think she trusts me to be the one investigating all this. How can I blame her? I sometimes wonder if I'm actually doing what I'm actually doing besides getting myself into more trouble. Kate even moved me out of her room. Hello, everyday hero. Yeah, well, you're right, Max. There's not really much that helps around. I ran into Warren, or rather, Warren was waiting to run into me. Naturally, he wanted to know what the hell happened in the parking lot with the Chloe and Nathan show. Once again, I felt like a dick because I should have gotten Warren involved in I should have got a hold of Warren to see if he was okay after we left him just in the lot. I do owe him. I only told him a little about what was going on with Nathan. The less he knows, the better for him. I would love to at least tell him about my fucking ability to reverse time and space, but ironically, I don't think it's the right time or space. Besides, he would want to marry me immediately, just so he could have his own human time machine, or capture me for scientific experiments, or make me go to a drive-in with him. Oh wait, he did try me to go drive with him, and I refused. I'm not really in the mood this week, and I also don't want to lead him on. I wonder why. Chloe and I had the best backdrop to play pirate, old ships in a big ocean. Chloe was late, duh. So I just tried to buy seeing Joyce again. She's trying to get to see me again. She didn't give me a guilt trip for not staying at church after William died. Didn't want to move forward. Yeah. Joyce naturally gave me shit for corrupting Chloe with my evil devil weed. Though I'm not sure she even believed it was mine. What could I say? I can actually see she loves David, even if I don't see how. The purpose was well worth the grief, though. Finally, Chloe showed up more bubbly than what I've ever thought after almost getting killed in a bathroom yesterday. Makes me happy to see her smile, but the smile meant trouble. Since all she really wanted was to show off my rewind power, so I did. Total boss. Woozing around. Yeah. Chloe always wants more, so she demanded we go to her top secret lair. She started to get pissed off at me because I dared to answer Kate's call. I'm not a fan of Chloe's petulant side. It makes sense. She tried to make me feel like an ass, but screw that. Kate was so happy I answered. I actually felt worse for her. Chloe has to know I have two friends at once. Yeah, that's what I said earlier, Chloe being a bit possessive. Which makes sense, you know, if she's missed her for 5 years, she's gonna be like that, even if she doesn't mean to. Chloe had to do some silly kind of gun tricks. Until the guy was 22. And I almost shot him. Pulled a knife on us and it felt like another one of my dreams. I don't even remember aiming the gun at him, but my finger just tapped against the trigger. Thank God there were no bullets in there. I could have used my rewind, but the way it was throbbing, who knows? I can't assume my power will always be available. I don't know anything about this works. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be reading this, but... Drama volume 33. Nice. And the co-friend's tough. I could tell she was shaken. Told me everything about Frank was just maybe the sponge. But it shocks me that the girl I grew up watching SpongeBob with ended up in such scary orbit. Still, I felt safer with her by my side, and I was glad to have a moment of peace. Aww. Saving Chloe again. At least this journal ever falls into the wrong hands, it's going to remain our BFF secret. So there. Feels so awesome. Clearly really sees us like we're taking over the world. But what if I hadn't been able to use my rewind power to get her off the tracks? Chloe might have to lower expectations, so will I. Sorry. I shouldn't have read that, I know, but it's been a long time since I've read it, to be fair.
Kate! No! Oh God. I have to do something to help
See,
her.
this is what you get when you don't give a shit about someone crying for help, people.
She can't.
You guys
She
fucking
can't.
suck.
Yes, she will. Not again. Not now. I have to try something. I won't be able to rewind again and again.
Lesson learned, folks. Here, I mean, in the game. This is what happens when you don't give a shit about someone crying for help. Screw all of you. Literally. Screw all of you. Well, not all of them, I guess. But even her friends didn't do much. Well, unless they're in Stellar anyway.
Keep going, Max. You can do it.
See, this is what I don't get. Something I kind of don't get about this either is because Kate, it doesn't actually matter about saving Kate or not. I'll mention it in the last episode, but there is just something really strange about this whole thing. Like, nothing intervenes saving Kate is the cause of everything. And if it was, I would have fucking been, like, angry. But it's almost like she's allowed to save Kate. In a way. I know it tied into the last episode, but...
Yes.
I mean, I'm taking it. Like I said, part of the Kate Marsh Protection Squad, and I have no shame. Oh, Nugget.
Oh. What are you doing here, Max? Stop! Don't come near me. Not now. It won't work. I don't have any power. Now I have to do this by myself. Max, seriously, don't come near me. I will jump.
It's okay, Nugget.
Okay. I'm right here. Kate, please.
Oh, Max, I know you want to help me. I love that you stepped up to David, but it doesn't matter now. Nothing matters.
You matter. And not just to me.
No.
I do want to believe
I
that.
know it's hard to
Kate,
believe, but...
Your life is still yours. And we can get through this together. Let me help. Like I helped by erasing all that crap people wrote on your room slate.
I'm glad to hear you worry about me. That makes me feel better.
She's the perfect person to send up, you know. You know, if Max had been there and Kate was threatening to jump, I think Max would have been the perfect person to send up. Although Max would have been like shaken as hell. You know, this is by far at this very moment the craziest thing Max has ever done. And I think it is showing into Max's strength that she's gaining from everything she's experiencing right now. This is really showing Max's development really well, because younger Max wouldn't have known what to do. Younger Max wouldn't have known what to do, what to say, or anything. She probably would have just shied away from it and let someone else handle it, but she's actually had the bravery and the strength to go up there herself and become determined to rescue her.
Of course I worry. You're my friend, Kate.
I did feel better talking to you on the phone. I always feel like you really listen.
Kate, please trust me. Come stand by me, okay? I can help you now. I know I can. This morning I erased the web link to the video. It was written on the shower room mirror.
That's your story now. How can I trust you? What about this morning when I needed help? You told me to do nothing.
There was nothing to do, Nugget. There's... Oh...
Kate, I'm gathering proof that Nathan Prescott drugged you.
She's not lying.
And you're not the only victim.
Yeah?
So you have to help me take Nathan down.
Nathan Prescott? That makes sense. He's a scumbag. You have proof now?
Soon.
He's a scumbag for
Straight to
treating
the
you like
police.
that.
Think of it like we're cleansing Blackwell.
You do have my back, Max.
Always.
That's the first time I've felt hopeful in a week.
That's
Good.
just,
We all
that's
need to
just
have each other's
heartbreaking,
backs.
because
So
Kate
I want
really
you
is
to
just
come
an
with me
aura
now.
of
Please.
optimism and
You
hope
don't
in
have
people.
to do this.
Max, I'm in a nightmare and I can't wake up. Unless I put myself to sleep. Then everybody at Blackwell can post pics of my body. I'm already on the internet
Nugget.
forever. No wonder they call it a web. Nothing can ever get out. Like my video.
This is like,
I wish I could go back in time and erase everything.
it's just like one of the most heartbreaking things I've ever seen, because she's just, oh, and it's just like she doesn't deserve this fucking shit, you know what I mean? Someone like her doesn't deserve any of it.
Kate, this is our chance to beat the bullies. That's the only way we can win against them.
Can we really, Max? I don't believe in miracles anymore either.
Oh
Now I do.
my god.
You're part of the reason why. If you come
You
down
are a
with me,
miracle nugget.
I can tell you more.
God
You're
damn
such a
it.
good person, Max. Even if you're full of crap. But I'll come with you. You're my friend.
Always.
Forever. Can we hug on it?
No! Nobody cares about me! Nobody!
You can tell what you're doing is working. You know? You can do what you're doing is working because she's starting to see it, but there's always that niggling doubt in her head. But you can tell you're winning. You know, you're starting to make her see sense, but there's just that one little nicking, like, thing in her head.
I saw that cute photo of you with your sisters in your room this morning. I can see how much your little sister loves you by her smile.
That's Lynn.
She must have taken
She's
it
only
from
10.
Kate then.
She does have the best smile ever. I would hate to see her sad.
She only took it from you. You might have to talk to her about that.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
What are you talking about? You saved me from talking in class.
And the other thing that Max will probably realize from here on out is that she doesn't need her powers to help. She can do it on her own. I have to tell you guys something. Had I not saved her, I don't think I would have continued with this game. I really don't. I know it's quite fun. I probably would have, but the bigger part of me wouldn't have wanted to go on because failing her would have been so terrible for me. It's like I said earlier, the worst thing is seeing someone like that and just having almost no power to help them. And not saving her would have been just... I don't know whether I would have continued with this game. I would have questioned it. I would have been like, I can't do it. I mean, I only say that in hindsight. I think I would have done, and as hard for me as it would have been, I would have taken that decision through, because that's the way these games work. The one that I've been meaning to mention this for the last couple of episodes, but I don't think the rewind feature is very beneficial to this game, because it gives you, apart from that very moment, the game doesn't really give you a chance to live with your choices. You get to pick the best option for you with every single time you can rewind and change it. So I don't think that was really... It's a nice mechanic, don't get me wrong, it's a great mechanic. But at the same time, it kind of takes away the tailored by how you play, because it never really is. Because if you don't like a decision, you can go back and change it. And it kind of takes away the tailored by how you play thing and how the choices will affect the game. But you can make the right choice or a wrong choice if you want. You can make the choices as many times as you want before you feel comfortable with something. So it kind of takes away the whole thing. It's no criticism of the game. It's just something I've kind of noticed, you know. I would have rather had a game where you can't do that. You have to live with the choices no matter what. Once you've made that choice, you have to make it. And you have to stick with it. But I think the rewind feature, apart from that very moment, and probably a couple of things at the end, like the last episode, you can kind of change it. Well, you can't change it in the last episode, but that's the one thing you can't really change from what you have to do. But I don't know if I would have continued on, because finding her would have been too much. I would have needed... basically what I'm saying is, I would have needed some real persuasion to play it, because threatening her would have just broke me into pieces. So thank God that I was able to
Now, I know today was difficult
kind
for
of do
everybody,
that.
but I'm so proud of the way Blackwell pulled together to save a young girl's life.
Oh, and here we go with the bullshit. This might turn into rant mode, but I don't honestly fucking care, because Wells is talking out of his ass. Blackwell didn't do shit. Max Caulfield did everything. Maxine Caulfield did everything. Blackwell didn't do shit. He didn't do shit. Jefferson didn't do shit. None of her, well, her friends probably didn't know. And then people like Nathan Prescott and Victoria make it fucking worse. That was what happened. No one pulled together for anything. The only one that ever cared was fucking Max. And even David doesn't fucking do anything. I'm going to be ranting throughout this last
Of course,
couple
you're
parts
quite the
here.
hero for getting Kate to come
Because there's a
down.
lot I want to say.
I didn't do much.
She's modest. Like a real hero.
Yeah, real hero.
More of a hero than you,
As
asshole.
principal of Blackwell Academy, I take my duties seriously.
Yeah, sure you do, mate. Sure you fucking do. That's why you hadn't done nothing this whole fucking time. I mean, fair. He does kind of step it up. You know, after Drew's injury, he took responsibility for that. And later in the game, I think he'll take responsibility for Kate. But at the same time, you don't do shit. You don't do shit. You take nothing. Well, you don't take it seriously. Maybe I will give Wells some credit here, because we obviously told her not to do anything and not to go to him. So Kate doesn't do that. So maybe I will give Wells some form of credit, because, you know, he probably didn't even know, because Kate doesn't really say, as far as I'm aware. Maybe she went to him anyway, but I'm not sure. Maybe I'll give him some
the
credit.
well-being of every student more seriously. What happened today should never happen in a hall of wisdom and knowledge.
I will give
Mr.
him that.
Madsen, as our head of security here, those roof doors should always be locked. That's just standard operating procedure. They were not.
And that breaks every health and safety regulation as well. So Wells has grounds to fire him. He has grounds to fire David Madsen. He didn't lock the doors. So that's a break in every health and safety regulation in any workplace at all. You have grounds to fire his ass. David Madsen should never work in a school again. He should be fired and should never be reconsidered for something again. I know I'm sounding a bit harsh, but seriously, that is breaking every health and safety regulation in any workplace. Any workplace, the first thing they tell you, or one of the first things they tell you, especially if you come as security guard in any place, the one thing you should do is lock everything down. That is your job. And like Will said, it's standard operating procedure. They should always be fucking locked. You have got grounds to fire him, and you should do that. If you're serious about your job and serious about the well-being of every single student in the school, which I sort of believe he does, right? I sort of believe he does. Fire him. Fire him and get someone more capable in. Because David has broken the health and safety regulations of every workplace on Earth. He is a liability. You should fire him. I know I sound harsh, but health and safety is one of the first things any workplace discusses with you. And I know this. You know, I've been in workplaces and stuff like that. The first thing they tell you is the health and safety, the fire exits, everything. Where the fire exits are, and then my college, right? We had a fire procedure, right? We had a procedure going down the stairs and things like that. We have a route, we have calmness, we have a procedure. Everything's locked down, and the people like me, because my colleges were very disabled access friendly. You know, we had a lot of people in wheelchairs and things like that. And people like me that didn't struggle with stairs, but isn't quick on my feet with stairs. You know, I have to hold on to rails to get me down the stairs safely. So what we used to do at one of my old colleges was we used to have this fire safety zone. Like, this would be fireproof kind of area where people in wheelchairs and people like me would stand and wait until the fire alarm was over. And even in fire alarm tests, fire alarm tests do the same thing. We do the same thing. We had this area that we walked in until it was safe and the alarm was off. But like I said, David Madsen has broken every single fucking health and safety thing you could ever fucking do in any workplace, and you have grounds to fire his fucking ass. You should fire him. You shouldn't even, don't even give him a warning. Fire him. He has compromised the safety of every student, and particularly Kate. He put Kate on the verge of killing herself. So, with that in mind, you have grounds to sack him, and he has no fucking right to work in any place like that again. He is the security guard. He has the right. He has to lock stuff down when it's not being in use and everything like that. They weren't locked. Fire his fucking ass.
And that is indeed your responsibility.
Exactly. He's the head of security as well, so that makes
Mr.
it worse.
Jefferson, I know you can't be expected to know what your students are going through, but Kate has assisted you in class, so you should have known something.
You should, yeah. Everyone should have fucking known. It's what I said earlier.
Since you are responsible for the Vortex Club parties, and since Miss Marsh did attend your last party, you'll have to answer some more questions.
Which is fair dues. That's completely correct.
Miss Caulfield, why exactly were you on the route with Kate Marsh? Did she tell you her plan? Or anything at all? Please, tell us everything.
Why was you on the roof with Kate Marsh? Why do you fucking think? Because I'm the only one who gave a shit. Basically, is what I say. Now, this decision is very hit or it's got varying levels of truth in everything. With Nathan dosing her, it's difficult though. Because like we said when Kate asked us about going to the cops and everything, there's no proof Nathan dosed her at all. And a lot of people will probably like, oh, well, Nathan dosed her, because at this point, right, in this very playthrough that I've done, David bullying her, we have no proof of that either. So we have no proof of what Nathan did, and we have no proof of what David did. But Jefferson making her cry isn't really a thing, really. Jefferson was the last to see her. But what can he possibly do? Kate's already made up her mind. This choice is absolutely pointless depending on what you did for the game. The game, in my playthrough, I've got no bounds to blame anybody here. Now what happens if you blame Jefferson is, Jefferson then gets removed from the Everyday Heroes contest. He does. And what's quite funny is, even putting the rest of the game into the account, right? You've got Jefferson making her cry is completely out of the window. All right, we're all unbeknownst to the end of the game. Fair. But even if you knew, if this is like your second or third playthrough, you've still got no grounds to do one of these choices. It's just, there's nothing there. There's nothing there to do it. With Nathan, you've got no proof. With David, you've got no proof. And with Jefferson, it's not really a grounds to do anything on. If we take the rest of the game out of the equation, you guys know what I mean. There's still no bounds to blame Jefferson here. Jefferson was like, if you... With Jefferson, you're telling the truth. But I think the fact that, Wells says, oh, just because you should have known Kate was there and should have supported her, this rises the publicity and you're not going to represent Blackwell at the Everyday Heroes contest, which is kind of bullshit, to be fair. It is kind of bullshit, because it makes no sense. Why would you exclude Jefferson from the Everyday Heroes contest because he was the last to see Kate? It just makes no sense. Kate had Kate made up her mind about what she was going to do even before the conversation with Jefferson? See, Jefferson, in all fairness to Principal Wells, he's right. Jefferson should have known that Kate was acting out of character. Because like I said, an angel like Kate Marsh doesn't go into somber unless something's wrong. Like I said, she's an aura of positivity and hope and smiles and everything. She's that kind of person. So her acting out of character like this should alert the people like Jefferson and everyone to her, which makes absolute sense. It makes such sense, right? So the only thing you can do, really, is say Nathan dosed her, because now, if you say Nathan dosed her, then they go to Kate and she says the same thing, it starts to add up. David Bullinger is completely out of the question here because we haven't got the proof because we didn't take the photo. So I dwindled it down. Jefferson making her cry shouldn't really be a factor at all. He was only the last person to see her, but there was nothing he could do. You know, because he had nothing on them either. He should have known something was amiss, yes, but even with that, right? What can he do? He can listen to Kate. He should have listened to Kate, probably. But there's no grounds to throw him out of the Everyday Heroes contest, really, is it? It's not really. It's not really his fault Kate was up there. That's a multitude of factors. He was just the last person she went to. You know? So, when I heard that, when I picked that, I felt really bad at the time. You know, because at the time, the whole thing about episode 4 didn't come out. So I only went with Nathan Doster because I initially thought that when we go to Kate, or when the police go to Kate, or when the authorities or whatever goes to Kate, and they ask her about it, she can say the same thing and it can start to add up. But the thing is, this choice is just non-plus. It's one of those non-plus choices. Why is this an important choice? You've got nothing on any of them. And that's my fault because I didn't take the shot in the Kate thing. But I'm not gonna do that because, you know, Max is gonna step in because that's just who Max is. You know? I mean, in any case, David Bullinger won't mean anything because at the end of the day, Wells had grounds to fire him anyway. Fire him? Seriously. But this is real bullshit. We'll go Nathan Doster for now, and I'll point out something that I want to fucking rant about again. Because what comes out here is real, complete nonsense.
Kate was at a party and Nathan dosed her. She got wasted and kissed some boys on a viral video without a clue.
It's only true through Kate's word that is the case.
Clue. Have you seen the video? What?
And I'm sure Nathan's real rap sheet has a thing of drugs.
You told Kate you took her to the emergency room.
I said
but
I
of course,
was going
Wells
to
dug
take
all
her to
that
the
up,
ER.
as it will
She
come out
sobered up
later.
Eventually.
Bullshit. Something happened to her and you know it.
I think he had a way in...
Waving a gun in the girl's back.
I do think he had a thing from Kate in her situation. I really think he was more involved in a better way.
Max. You told me that nothing happened yesterday.
See, why would Max mention the bathroom, right? When she knows that Principal Wells did that. And it's kind of bad writing by Don't Nod, really, isn't it? But I think Don't Nod just wanted to say, oh, you should have said. And it's like, why would you? Why would you when you thought that the Prescotts own the place and Principal Wells just throws everything out because it involves Nathan? We already know he does that, and you will know he does that in later episodes, but why? Like, why would you tell him? There's no reason to tell him about the bathroom incident, because even if it proved to be true, he still wouldn't fucking punish Nathan for anything because he's under the Prescott's paywall. Payroll. You know, he's under that. So there's no reason to mention to him at all. But now Don't Not want to go, oh, because you didn't tell him, now this is going to happen.
You just making things up? How can I trust you?
Making things up, right.
You can't.
Okay.
She's smoking and selling dope, not saving lives.
Okay, so David's now saving his own skin because that's a load of shite. Again, like I said earlier, that's a load of crap. He knows that Chloe is the one taking drugs. He has the history of it. He can't base that on fucking Max because she admitted she had the fucking thing. See, this is where I kind of wonder why Joyce didn't tell David about who Max is. I guess to be fair, maybe Joyce had no inkling she was coming back and didn't feel the need to do it, but surely David would have asked about the photo on the wall, right? Because then Before the Storm, it's on the wall. Now, Before the Storm came out after this game, so, you know, it's kind of different, but, like, no, you've got no proof. See, David has got no proof. That's a wild accusation that he got from Max saying that. It doesn't necessarily mean it's true. I'll point something out in just a second, because this turns into real bullshit.
No, I'm not. And that has nothing to do with Kate Marsh.